get that back in. So from your perspective, Joe, what does trust actually look like between a sponsor and a CRO?
Yeah, I think trust is a very important element of that partnership, because I truly believe that working with a CRO and working with a sponsor has to be a two-way partnership. I'd spent 30 years in the sponsor side doing exactly what some of our sponsors are asking us to do, and sitting on the other side now, I kind of have an idea of walking in their shoes. So I think what you need to do to build trust is to demonstrate, obviously, competency and capability. But in terms of working with them, it's about listening, trying to understand their drug program, asking enough questions to get the information that you need. But I truly believe it's that kind of communication, clarity, and standing behind your commitments as well. Having that consistency in data delivery. But one of the most important things I think for trust as well is to make sure that, when things don't go smoothly, because real life happens, unfortunately, and there will be bumps in the road in anything that happens. You need to think about what do you do and how do you act when things don't go smoothly. How do you communicate with the sponsor? How do you give them potentially options of what they could do, but also giving them timely and honest communication. So I think that's really key in keeping that relationship going and making sure it's that two-way communication. One of the worst things you can do is make assumptions, and that's where things can go wrong very, very quickly, whether it be in a method, thinking that, it must be done this way. That can really derail things, but also, assuming that the sponsor is thinking one thing or the CRO is thinking another thing. So really, really just having open, honest communication and making sure you stand behind what you say you're going to do.
And from your perspective and experience, I'm sure you've worked with numerous CROs in the past, and you saw the ones that maintained that transparent communications, and things went well even when things didn't go well, and when things went awry through poor assumptions and having to then go backwards and fix it.
Sure. And I think what was really important was not just, hey, it's gone wrong, is also thinking about solutions that could be put in place. You could come up with a couple of options and maybe saying, well, I've got 3 options and my preference is number 2, and I'll tell you why I think this is the reason that you should go forward with this option. But also making sure that the sponsor kind of understands what's gone wrong, but also giving them time to look at that and come up with their own approach as well.
Brilliant. Perfect. Awesome. No, thank you for hitting on that. That was gold. Very good.